Welcome everyone to this week's Growth Show in South West Hertfordshire. It's good to have you all with us on this somewhat rainy afternoon. But as usual, we've still got lots of news, lots of information, and if you need to contact us, you can via Twitter at L4G SW Herts. That's L4G Twitter SW Herts, which you can see below my name. On today's team, we have Alex back for 1 week only with local news, including the beach in Watford, which has brought some great weather with it. Neal is doing the local sport, and Alex, Neal and I will be covering the local charity news. And after being studio bound last week, we're releasing Chris again into the community, and he's going to be out and about Watford Met station talking about a campaign that they've got running down there with some people to keep the station open. And finally, we've got Gerri Riddiough, who's District Regional Leader for Yorkshire and Durham, talking about her Link for Growth experiences. So Alex, many congratulations on passing with distinction your LPC course. What news do you have for us this week?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm back for 1 week only. I've taken the day off from the legal world to come and help you guys out. But yeah, thanks for that. It was really good, really pleased. But news-wise, enough about me. Lots going on. We've got obviously all the stuff going on this weekend with the beach. Some information about next month's big screen, all the films, and some local political news, Herts' annual government report, and some news about St Mary's Church.
Okay, and Neal, I gather it's been a very busy week at Watford again. And there are lots of local other sports stories as well. Neal, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll be reporting on a couple of new signings, and the work is carrying on apace at the ground, and I'll be updating everyone on some local sports as well.
Okay, great. And Chris, you're going to be talking to Lester Wagman about the campaign to keep Watford Met station open after the line's extended to Watford Junction. And you've also got news of 3 or 4 videos that you've made in the past week.
Yeah, Lester, we met at the drinks last week, and we collared him to come and talk to us about his campaign to keep Watford Met station open. So I'll be talking to him about what he's been doing there and some progress on that. And yeah, there are 3 interviews, not 3 interviews, 3 videos, in fact 4 videos I did yesterday, and I've got another 2 to do, all stuff about Link for Growth and how people can participate and join in.
Okay, and Gerri's icon has just gone solid. Well, I hope that means she's not disappeared. But we finally welcome Gerri Riddiough, who's Link for Growth Regional Leader up in Yorkshire and County Durham. Welcome to the show, Gerri.
Thank you. That's the weirdest version of my name I've ever had, I think.
Okay, put me right. Put me right.
Pardon?
Put me right.
It's Riddiough, as in you'll never get rid of me.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologise for that. Okay, but anyway, you're going to be talking about what's happening up in the north of the country, and you're going to be talking to us a bit later, but more from Gerri later on. In the past week, we've seen several Link for Growth events, including the second breakfast on Sunday at the Junction Cafe in St Albans Road. Chris, I gather you went.
Yes, I did go. My breakfast was slightly more unusual than the rest of the fare that they were munching. I had a salad, which I have to be honest, having had copious salads over the weekend and the previous month, wasn't the most enjoyable of breakfast. But nevertheless, I managed to abstain while Alex tucked into a hearty breakfast, and so did Martin. But it wasn't a massive event, but that will just pick up over time as people start to participate and get along there. But I'm definitely looking forward to next month eating a decent breakfast.
Okay, well, and then on Monday we had Link for Coffee at Ocean Bells Coffee Shop in the Lower High Street. And then on Tuesday we had a Link for Coffee at the kitchen in Croxley Green. Now last week, Chris, you were talking about the temptation of their lemon drizzle cake. How was your, how can I put it, self-control?
self-control intact, and I've managed to abstain, although they do some remarkable cakes down there, and they're just such a friendly bunch. And you know, it was good. We had a good crowd down there, actually. I managed to publicise the event a bit more effectively on Facebook and invited a load of people, and we had quite a decent crowd down there, a couple of new faces. So yeah, all good.
Okay, great. And the other thing is, of course, you might just think that Link for Growth is a South of England or South East network, but in fact it's spreading all the time with new districts and new meetings. There was one in Bournemouth earlier this week. There's a new district in Northamptonshire formally about to launch. I have quite a few, for quite a while. Link for Growth has had events all over the country, with events in South Wales and plans for others soon to come. But Link for Growth also hold events up in the north of the country, in Derbyshire and throughout Yorkshire and Durham. Today with us is Gerri, who looks after Link for Growth in the north of England. Hi Gerri, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the show. So why and how did you become involved in Link for Growth?
Oh, right. Well, there's a few ways I could sort of put this, but I did a talk on Saturday. I didn't just talk about Link for Growth. I talked about sort of how I ended up here with Link for Growth now, which one of the things I'd done years ago was business networking, and I'd had just about enough of it, a belly full of it. And I went to a meeting up in Newcastle where Chris was actually presenting. That was in 2011. So I didn't really think anything of it. It was freezing cold, snowy morning, and my life was about as bad as it could be. And the last thing I wanted to do was drive to Newcastle at 6:30 in the morning, but I said I would, so I did it. And watched what he talked about the cloud and about the business that he had then. Didn't think much more of it until we started chatting about, so he put something about GMO foods in the end of 2013, just got sort of chatting from there, talking about our communities and how things they're not like they used to be, and that people aren't sort of connected up anymore, that we're not necessarily looking out for each other as we should be, and sort of getting that back on track, really.
Okay, so what parts of North of England do you actually cover? I mean, I talked about Yorkshire and Durham, but that's not the whole story, is it?
No, yeah, Yorkshire and North Yorkshire and Durham. Actually covering the Newcastle event as well, just at the moment. Then I've helped a few other people sort of launch their areas, districts, and we're at the point now really where, especially on the back of the talk I did as well, on Saturday there was about 60 or 70 people there. There was meant to be a lot more, so there's still quite a few people that didn't do what they said they were going to do. But quite a number of people stopped me in there and just wanted to have a chat about how they could perhaps get involved. So that'll be the next stage, sort of launching new areas across the rest of the north.
Okay, and what have you found the most surprising aspect of the role?
A number of things, really. One that I've mentioned, people saying they'll do something and then not doing it, I was quite sort of surprised. Not so much now, but I was to start with. On the flip side, though, the amount of people that have been really helpful to help out, like Jeff Kitchen and Sue as well, Sue Esplin, helping out with the things that I'm not very good at. We've all got different strengths. You wouldn't want me to be friends by it, put it that way, eh?
It would be very boring if we were all the same, wouldn't it?
True. Yeah, but I'm very disorganised and messy and a bit of a whirlwind sometimes, but yeah, they keep me sort of right generally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So has that been one of the biggest challenges you've had, with people saying they'll do something and then not being able to complete for one reason or another, or is it the fact that there's more you need the right team around you to succeed?
Yeah. I think that's really important, and I think we're getting there in Newcastle. We had a really good turnout there last time. Durham and North Yorkshire, we've got a little SWAT team that's doing all right. Len's now starting to build up a team and Damien's looking at doing the same. So yeah, it's kind of what we've done in one area, it seems to just then replicate in other areas. So we learn it, we do it, and then we teach others to do the same.
Yeah, and you find that works for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, great. And how many events and what type of events do you have each month?
We only have, there's 5 in Durham and North Yorkshire, which I could have gone daft creating some more, but the ones we've got are consistent and persistent, and they're doing all right. Really, if I had sort of 20 or 30 events in this area, that would then prevent me from getting out and launching new areas with other people. So it's exactly as it's meant to be, right place, right time, kind of thing.
Okay. And you mentioned Len and a few other people who give you all the support and help that you need. Do you want to name check anyone in particular, apart from those you've already done?
It mostly be Damien Elson's doing well, the events that he's got and keeping them going. But Len's knocked our socks off, I think, at the moment. He's just launching event after event, and he's off. I think I might go down to his event on the 4th of August. He's got a drinks night, because I know there's quite a number of people that I've seen in the Derbyshire area that see what we see and said, right, I'd like to come and have a chat, so I'd like to get down there and meet them.
Okay, that sounds great. And of course you were down here seeing us last week.
I was, and tomorrow I'm going to Birmingham with Lisa Michelle, to see some guys down there, getting some, just having a chat really, more socialising and seeing, because we get on very well on Facebook, and just taking that to the next steps really and say, right, what can we do? What can we do next? Okay. And then back up to over Bradford Way, Skipton, I think, on Sunday, to look at land council and sort out family trusts. Again, working with people that are expert at that, doing ours, and then being able to get them involved to help other people. Because it's not, none of this is about exclusivity. I think sometimes when speak about Link for Growth, people think, well, she wants us to do that instead of what we're doing, and it's not, because we all need each other. You know, we all need to participate in each other's things, otherwise nothing will happen. We can't all know everything. We don't know what we don't know. So,
no, exactly, and I think that's a really good point. And okay, finally, what events have you got coming up in the next week or so, and how can people book?
We've got on the 1st of August, Link for afternoon tea we do in Mind Cafe. Now I know you're talking about local charities, that's the main local one. Support them because they support me back. So yeah, it's an afternoon tea. So rather than maybe queuing up at the McDonald's drive-through, we'll get some proper home-cooked food in there. After that, it'll be down to Len's area. Obviously, that's not strictly speaking my own, but it is the north. After that, the following week, we've got Link for Drinks that is down at Saltburn, and people can book on them from Eventbrite. You can actually just go to the district page. I know we've been setting up actual events on Facebook for each of them for us to invite people and for them to book on. You can actually go just straight on, go to the district page, and it has got the option just to book, and it'll bring up all of the events for the entire, well, for as far as you want to look really. Which I think that would be a good habit for somebody to get into, for checking what's on when, because they're not always easily found on Eventbrite. I don't, maybe it's just me, I don't know.
Yeah, I think with Eventbrite, at times it can be fabulous, and other times it can be a complete minefield.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the easiest way to book on.
Okay, that's great. Okay, well, thanks very much, Gerri, for coming on and telling us about what you're doing up in Yorkshire and Durham and that part of the world. And over the last few weeks, you may have seen and heard several of Link for Growth's regional and district leaders tell their stories about Link for Growth. Well, now you have a chance to tell yours. Chris has the details. Chris, so you have something called What's My Story?
Yeah, absolutely. I did a short video. We've been talking about this for a while now, but I did a short video last night just as an introduction to kind of get the ball rolling, really. So the thing that ties everyone together is not what they do for a job, and this is one of the misnomers of business networking, is that people go along and they start going on about what they do, but actually that doesn't tell us anything. It just describes a job, and actually what you need to know to be able to help or get to know someone is have a conversation with them about all sorts of things, about their life, about what they've done with their life, and that's really what's my story all about. And because when you start to understand people and what they've done in their life and the challenges they've had, you start to recognise them for who they are and not what they've got and what job they do. And actually talking to people, when you ask them things and you start to realise, actually this person is amazing, they've done some really brilliant things in their life, and actually the person telling you the story starts to realise actually they're not bad themselves, and they start to realise they're actually pretty cool, because they've forgotten it. It all becomes a bit blasé, and they just forget what they've done in their lives, and that reminder by themselves and the reaction they get from other people can make a huge difference to someone's self-esteem or how they see themselves.
Okay, great. And you've also made something called 2 other videos, one of which is called L4G Soundbite. Yeah,
so we've just announced L4 Link for Business, which is aimed at the 30% of the people that are in business as a sector of what Link for Growth covers in its totality. And the soundbite, we did these a long time ago, but now we've got 2 distinct different areas. One's for people in the community, regardless of whether they're in business or not, which is the one I've just talked about. And now we've got the L4G Soundbite, which is aimed specifically at giving people in Link for Business an opportunity to talk about their passion and perhaps why they're doing what they're doing now, and so the story around what they're currently doing in their business. So that's what the Soundbite's aimed at.
Okay. And finally, the last one is Link for Growth. What does it mean? What does it mean to me? Which is a really catchy title, and I know you've trialled something with Alex, where you did a short video thing with Alex a couple of months ago, and I gather you're now taking that idea further.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2 or 3 minute opportunity for people to just say what they've got out of Link for Growth, really, what the benefit to them has been, and depending on what people's background and history is, that can manifest itself in a huge number of ways. And I mean, I know that you and I are going to do one of these at some point, and people are affected in different ways depending on what's going on in their life at the moment. But if people are working for charities like Catherine works for Michael Green Foundation, Link for Growth has been tremendously supportive. So I'm sure there's a story there. And there are other situations where people themselves have developed massively through their involvement with Link for Growth. They've become leaders in their own right. They're doing things now in Link for Growth that they couldn't even imagine themselves doing a year or 2 ago.
Okay, that's great. And you'll be back later with your interview. So it's time to put the coat on, I think. And
yeah. I might be a bit late, and he might be a bit wet, so I'm going to go.
Take the umbrella. Okay, speak to you later, Chris.
Cheers, bye now.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, Alex, you got some local news, starting with Hertfordshire County Council have released their annual report earlier this week. And they mentioned they have a commitment to giving local people more say and control over local services.
Yeah, that's right. As well as local news, I've also got cramp in my legs. If I have to jump up, that'll be why. But yeah, so annual report from Herts County Council came out today, covering the year 2014-2015. So ended March, end of the financial year this year. So it's quite a dry document. So I've kind of summarised the most interesting bits into this, so you don't have to go and read it all. But if you do, I'll share a link in the L4G Watford community so we can have a look. But in short, Herts have saved about £170 million last financial year, mainly coming through efficiencies rather than cuts. So obviously council budgets are getting squeezed, and more on that in a bit. But yeah, so budgets getting squeezed. What they managed to do is save money through efficiencies rather than cuts. So frontline services have been saved, and the statistics kind of show that people are happy with Hertfordshire County Council more so than local council, I'd say, in Watford and stuff. So most of them, 75% of saying they're either satisfied or very satisfied with the service Herts County Council present, and that's above the national average of 71%.
Okay, great. And today Watford is enjoying, I should say, a month. Well, if the forecasts are correct, a month's worth of rain in a day. I'm not sure if that's quite true, but it's certainly very wet here. And we've got a beach starting tomorrow, Town Beach starting tomorrow.
Indeed, 9 AM tomorrow morning, the beach is coming to Watford for a week. Yeah, so pretty much as you expect, They're bringing the beach. They're putting it at the top of the parade where the ice rink was. So should be good. They've got lots of events happening in and around the beach area. So there's going to be yoga run by a local company coming in. They're going to have Punch and Judy shows. They're going to have Ibiza kind of theme things in the evening, Saturday night, I think, and then next Saturday also. There's going to be a pirate theme event next weekend as well. So lots of things going on during the week as well.
Okay, and they've also got following on from the last year's success of the big screen, it's back again next month, and this time you can choose a film, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. So next month, between the 20th and the 25th of August, we're going to have the big screen back again. And I've kind of just gone through the kind of the rota, not the rota, but the program, if you will. So Friday, Thursday, which is the 20th, so the first day, they call it Throwback Thursday, and you can go and watch Singing in the Rain. Obviously quite appropriate for today, obviously. Let's hope not too appropriate then. And then on the Friday, the 21st, it's 80s night, so you can watch The Goonies and Ghostbusters. So I'm going to probably go along to one of those, I think.
And is that the People's Choice night where you can choose one of 4 films?
Not quite yet. You're a bit ahead of me there, Diane. If you hold on a minute. Saturday is the People's Choice as well. You've got, for kids, first of all, you've got Shaun the Sheep. I think about 3 o'clock. 5:30 is the People's Choice, where you, the public, get to choose a film. So we've got 4 films to choose from. We've got Dirty Dancing, The Avengers, Casablanca, or Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Well, it has to be Casablanca for me.
Gerri, what about you if you're going to come down?
I think probably Bill and Ted.
I initially went for the Avengers, and now I'm thinking Bill and Ted now, because it could be quite interesting. Because the Avengers I've seen a few times, I haven't seen Bill and Ted yet, so I kind of want to see that. And I don't fancy either Casablanca or Dirty Dancing.
I used to love things like that, and I think I'd be a little bit wary of watching it again, like Dumb and Dumber, because I loved it that much at the time. Would I still look at it now? Would it be too silly?
I remember watching Dumb and Dumber 2 recently. It was absolutely awful.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they kind of, because they've grown up. They're no longer the kind of. It's 15 years later, so imagine yourself 15 years ago, and then you changed, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're now kind of they're grown-ups, to quote.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if I should watch it, if it would ruin it now, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Alex, what's the final film?
On the Saturday.
Well, on the event of the week.
Oh yeah, so and then Saturday evening after the People's Choice, you've got Gravity, the kind of George Clooney, Sandra Bullock film, and on the Sunday it's called Sing Along Sunday. We can have The Little Mermaid or Romeo and Juliet.
Okay, that's great. And we're lucky to live in a town with so many green spaces in it, like Cassiobury Park, and you may remember that Chris interviewed Sandy Baloney 2 weeks ago, described how he helps to maintain some of them. And we have some more good news, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. Following up from Chris's interview, a couple more parks and green areas have been awarded the green flag by Keep Britain Tidy and added to the list of the nation's best parks. So in Watford this year, St Mary's Churchyard in the town and the Carolan's Wreck have been awarded with green flag, alongside Cassiobury Park, Woodside Park, Cheshire and Oxley Park. So 6 kind of green parks all got the green flag in Watford, so it's a good marker of the kind of the green side of Watford.
Okay, well I can see, and you've also got news about Richard Harrington and charities, which kind of links in with what we're going to talk about later. Yeah,
linking in. For anyone who hadn't heard, this week the MPs it was officially announced that they were going to be given a 10% pay rise. A lot of people had come out and said this isn't right, including the MPs themselves. For those who didn't know, it wasn't voted for by the MPs. It was an outside body who organised it, and the MPs have said that most of them are going to take it. And what Richard has said is, if you're a local charity, you can apply to him, and he will give you some of the money in reply. So if you contact him by the end of August, he's looking to give away that £7,500 to local charities to help you in the causes.
Okay, great. And I can see that Chris still hasn't managed to reach Watford Met Station. Next, we'll deal with the sports news. Neal, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome back. And Gerri, it's been another busy week for Watford with lots of transfer activity and a tour of Germany ending with a win.
Yeah, so Watford have added another 2 players after earlier in the season I said they would only have 3 or 4. I think I said it's 9 they're up to now. One of them was Matty Vidra, who is already playing for us, so I don't think you can count that one. But 2 more this week. Miguel Britos from Napoli, who is an experienced Uruguayan defender, and Jose Manuel Gerardo from Spartak Moscow. He's an interesting signing because he actually played under Flores at Atletico Madrid, and he's an attacking midfielder. So Flores obviously rates him quite highly if he wanted him to play in the Premiership. So it'll be interesting to see if he becomes a stable, gets a place in the team. And
I gather there are more to come as well.
Well, there's still rumours of more to come. Yes, let's. Who knows now? There's so many. It's going to be a brand new squad. But yeah, the pre-season continues to go well. They got a win this week against a former Bundesliga team who, let me get the name of the team right, it's Paderborn. They were in the Bundesliga last year, so it's a big step up in quality as far as the pre-season goes. But Flores said he was very happy with the result, a 2-0 win, and it showed that their fitness training is coming on nicely. There was goals from Mati Vidra and Igalu. So that's all good. So now it's on to next Friday, the big one, home against Sevilla. So if you haven't got your tickets, get them now because we're not sure how many's on sale. They haven't said how many stands they're opening for the game. So best get in now and get those tickets for next Friday's game.
Yeah, and Watford have more international travel, I gather. And tomorrow they're playing in Dundee, Scotland, and Tuesday or Wednesday, Tuesday, I think it is, they're playing in Cardiff in Wales.
Yeah, they are, but not many people are going to be travelling to them. Let's be honest. Everyone wants to get back down the Vic.
Okay. Now, I gather they've just tweeted a photo showing how the new corner's going to look.
Yeah, so there's the work's going on. There's still a lot to do, but if you walk past the stadium, you see the new black claddings on the front. So that's obviously part of a rebranding from the old brick to black cladding. So it looks quite smart. There's still a race on to get the corner ready for the start of the season, but we'll see.
But it's not all about Watford, is it? You and I need to hang our heads in shame because Watford lost to Kings Langley.
Yeah, Kings Langley preparing for their season after promotion, and they beat Watford under 18s 1-0 with a penalty in the last 7 minutes from a young man, Jack Johnson. So congratulations to Kings Langley, and their preparation carries on with a game against Queen's Park Rangers under 21s this week. So they've managed to pull in some really good opposition for their warm-ups, ready for the new season.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I know Martin will be very pleased, who is a big fan of theirs. But it's not all football, is it, Neil? There have been other sports, and good, great winning run for another Watford team. Yep.
Watford water polo team, who probably don't get a lot of press, but they've just won their 6th match on the trot, beating Beckenham, and they play their games at Woodside Leisure Centre. So if you want to go and see a different sport, look them up and get down Woodside.
Yeah. And you've got a whole load of other sports news for us, Neil, starting with cricket, I believe.
Yep, I'll start with the cricket. I'll just run through very quickly because there's a few things here. So Radlett, in a repeat of last year's final, beat Abbots Langley in the Observer 14-14 Cup, and they're only the 3rd team, I think, to retain the trophy. So they've been dominant for a long while now. One little blip this season, but Radlett won again. So unfortunately, no revenge for Abbots for last year's result. That's all I'm going to cover on the cricket, but let's go on to some other sports. Some really good news from the English Schools Athletics Championships, where 2 young Watford people from Watford Harriers won medals. Jessica Emery, no relation of mine that I know of anyway, won silver in the long jump, and Callum Woodgate won a bronze in the pole vault. So well done to those 2 up-and-coming stars. So next up, no, sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. That is all the sports news.
Well, I was going to invite you to swear by saying Arsenal.
No, we don't talk about Arsenal.
Well, they got a training camp running in Watford in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know. It's because there's too many. I Arsenal supporters in Watford, so they come out to this way and they try to steal our supporters. But yeah, no, get along. You learn some new skills from some very good coaches, and then contact Watford and get onto their books.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. I'm sorry for making you having to swear there, Neil. Anyway, thanks for the sports news. But we've got lots of charity news on, and we're going to start off with news from Michael Green Foundation. Who announced we've got 3 events, starting with the Cook's Party with Caroline, which is based very much on the similar event that was held back at Tania's boat a couple of weeks ago, which was great fun. You must pre-book for this because it is at a private residence, but details can be found by contacting the Michael Green Foundation. On top of that, they've got their comedy and magic night coming up on the 26th of September. Doors opening at 7:15 for an 8 p.m. start, and it's on at the Radlett Centre. Tickets are £25 and selling fast. Apparently the Mayor of St Albans is also going to be attending, and he insisted on paying for his own tickets, and he hopes to make a donation from his mayoral fund this year for Watford and to the charity rather, and they're going to be donating another £10,000 cheque to the Watford General Hospital. This time it's to provide them with IT conference facility equipment, which will help speed up the process of seeing and treating patients. So Michael Green Foundation obviously doing very well. The run last week, which Neil took part in, week before last, sorry, it's now been confirmed that the 12 runners made over £5,600 profit. So congratulations, Neil, and the rest of your running team. And they're also going to be doing an Eat Fit course. Now, they ran this course earlier on in the year in St Albans. This time, they're going to be running it in Watford, and they've got some funding from Watford Council to help run this course. It's going to be starting in the first week of October. The dates are to be confirmed, but it will be definitely starting in the first week in October. I know people who went on the St Albans course said how interesting they found it, what a great experience it was for them. The course lasts 8 weeks, gives you lots of fresh ideas on new foods to eat and how to eat healthily, but without it being dull and boring like Chris's salads. Okay, and Alex, can you talk please about the Peace Hospice? We're looking for volunteers for a reminiscence service.
Okay, hold on. I've got to consider the notes. I need to find them. Hold on.
I'll take that one if you want, Diane.
Okay.
Okay, so the Peace Hospice, they're looking for volunteers for their anniversary celebrations. I know they're always looking for volunteers, so if you can, you need to contact Jarcus at Peace Hospice, so that's JARCUS at the Peace Hospice, or you can telephone 01923 330 330. So if you're a person who likes to meet people, you're fascinated by other people's lives, and you like to listen to people's stories, then you're probably the ideal person to go out and help the Peace. They'll give you training, and they'll teach you how to take time to listen to people's stories, undertake oral histories of life of people's stories, and how to research local history as well. So they're offering a lot here. It could be a really good opportunity. So if you have some spare time on your hands, help out the Peace Hospice.
Yeah, I mean, it's well called. It's something that perhaps Paul Rogers could give them a hand on, because of course he's got a lot of expertise in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if he's involved in it, but yeah, local history is always a fascinating thing, and he's your go-to man. Yeah,
most definitely. And I'm busy scrolling through because I've had to ditch my notes, and because we've had to change the order slightly. But Alex, you're going to be talking about Homestart, I believe, and their news on their decision from the County Council.
I am indeed, yeah. So, Homestart, a few weeks ago we talked about it, and they've actually, now the council confirmed they've lost the funding. It's going to be a big kind of hit for them. They say that there's a frightening future, and the result of the council's decision / funding will be disastrous. So this goes against what I was just talking about earlier with some of the funding. So they have some funding, and it's come in this area. Rachel Allen, who's been to a few of the CSR lunches, part of Home Start, she's one of the coordinators, has said that it's disappointing to have the decision approved by County Council not to provide funding for a home visiting service. But having sat and listened to opposing views, I feel even more passionate about this amazing charity I work for. So it's almost given them in a good way that the volunteers now felt kind of, I want to do this more because it's such a good cause. We need to be doing even more now. And Emma, who I know quite well from the charity, says it's going to be business as usual, and they're going to be looking for connections with businesses, colleges and schools. So they're going to be trying to do more in the local community to raise that funding that they've lost from the council.
Yep. And Gary, you got new family experience, you've got a public opening on opening this Sunday again.
Yeah, this Sunday being the last Sunday of the month, the 40s family experience down at Lincolnsfield is open for those who don't remember. Chris was down there a few weeks ago. The weather is not as good as it was that day, but yeah, it should be a really good day to look around the old World War II site, the heritage site, the Fortune House, the kind of old gardens, the dig for victual out here. There's great volunteers for loads of experience. You can go and find out the Anderson Shelter and the Blitz experience. It's a great day to take the family. Opens at 10 o'clock, 10:30, sorry, finishes for £5 for adults, £2 for concessions.
Okay, great. And Neil, you want to talk about walk in the park on later next week? You want to talk about the walk in the park?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, just had a problem. I'm muting my mic. So yeah, so it's a called Picture This, and it's a digital photography walkthrough for families on July the 29th. And it's been pitched as perfect event for budding photographers, big and small, to join a leisurely walk around Chorleywood House, and is led by an experienced ground guide. So it's on between 10:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. It's very limited places, so book. It's a free activity, which is great news. But so if you want to book, if you are interested in photography or interested in getting to know about photography, you need to call 01923 776611.
Okay, well, thanks for that. And as you may have heard earlier on, Chris has now joined us again from Watford Met Station. Hello, Chris. Obviously, he can't hear me. Hello, Chris.
Are you talking to me?
I am, yes. Is Lester with you?
I can hardly hear you at the moment, but so I'm just going to carry on and talk to Lester. You can see in my camera here.
Okay, well,
is that all right? So are we on?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm standing here at, and it might be actually the wet station as opposed to the Met station, to be fair, because it's absolutely pouring down. But I'm standing here with Lester.
So hello, Esther.
Hello, everybody,
And welcome to a very wet Watford Met line station on a fairly typical Friday afternoon, where you can see lots of people are turning up and leaving the station from one of the 4 trains an hour that's currently running here. People probably also know that this station is planned to be closed in 2019 when the Met line is diverted from Croxley Station, which is the previous station up the line towards London, through West Watford, through a new station at Cassio Bridge, another one called Vicarage Road, and it is technically in Vicarage Road, but it's quite a long way from anywhere in Vicarage Road. Will certainly help the football traffic, and then in towards Watford High Street, joining up with the lines into Watford Junction.
So what's been the motive for doing this?
It's not clear. It's been a project that's been talked about around Watford for many, many years, probably for about 20 years, and it's gained a bit of a life of its own, a bit of a head of steam, excuse the rail pun there, but that's the real benefits behind the scheme. It would provide access to some parts of West Watford which don't currently have access to rail stations. There was previously a branch line, and much of the link is going to be used to connect up what used to be the branch line through those stations in West Watford, or actually some new versions of those stations in West Watford, through Watford High Street and into Watford Junction. previously that branch line connected with Bushy as well, but the southern curve has long since been removed and replaced with an industrial estate, so it's unlikely ever to be replaced again.
So there's likely to be a lot of people affected by this, because we're standing outside the station, and this is in the middle of not only in the middle of a housing estate, but actually there's a school right next to here, and kids I know, because I went to this school, Watford Grammar, they come from all over the place, and they use this line a lot, don't they?
Absolutely. In fact, the school is there's something like 500 students a day from the school in each way, morning and afternoon, are using this rail line to connect to and from their places where they're coming from and going to. But not only to Watford Grammar School, which is right next to us here, but also many of the students who live in this Watford area and are going into schools further into London, particularly into Rickmansworth School. So the traffic's actually two-way. Now, under the scheme, the new station will be, there will be a new station built at Cassio Bridge, which is sort of down near two bridges, near where the old Royal Mail sorting centre used to be, further down in West Watford. But even by a generous estimate, that's a good 18-20 minutes walk from here. It also involves the students walking along the fairly narrow pavemented Rickmansworth Road. And if you've ever seen the students come out of here, unfortunately school's broken up so you won't see them today, but as they will have walked along the pavement there, they spill out into the road, they don't look where they're going, fairly typical for secondary school students.
Yeah, so what was the consultation process like for this? Because, to be honest, the first time I heard about all of this was you told me in a pub one night.
Well, that's pretty much how the consultation has gone. Not that I go to a lot of pubs, but to tell people about it. But whenever I do, obviously I spread the word. There has been consultation. There has been some consultation which took place over the period in around July 2013. But unfortunately, what happened with the consultation, where London Underground actually ran the consultation and interviewed people here at Watford Met Station, it took place during 3 days during July, when of course the station is much quieter, a lot of people are away on holiday, and the questions that were asked about the closure of the station didn't really give much of a clue that it was a very real possibility.
So the plan is to close this station in 2019, is it?
Yes, the latest estimates, and as I say, the project has been mooted for 20 odd years. Earlier this year, the funding was approved by a combination of Hertfordshire County Council, who couldn't afford to fund the project, handing it over to London Underground. And London Underground Limited have put in place their own project managers and have identified that this £285 million project originally was going to cost £118 million, so it's more than sort of doubled its budget, but it's not going to happen for this station to close until 2019.
And closing this station, is there any option for keeping it open? Because to be honest, it wouldn't hurt, would it, to run a couple of trains an hour to this station?
Well, in fact, the word closure could be defined in a number of different ways. This station technically won't be closed, but it will be closed to the public. In fact, what's going to happen is this station is going to be used for stabling of trains overnight, which means that the drivers will be bringing trains here in low periods of time from all over the Met line. They'll be stacked up in the sidings here, where there are 4 platforms at Watford Met, and then those trains will be taken away again. But there are a number of options for not closing this station. And we've looked at many options for running a shuttle service. There was some talk about running a shuttle to and from Croxley. That probably is impractical because of the layout of Croxley Station, but it would be eminently possible to run trains to and from Moor Park, where there are 4 platforms and actually would only require one simple track crossover to be able to get people to change trains at at Moor Park, and then continue their journey either into London or further up the line towards Rickmansworth and the other stations further west.
So what plans have you got now to continue the fight, as it were, or is there any fight left to continue?
Well, there is. One of the aspects that we're taking on with the campaign is actually asking London Underground to re-question whether or not there is a need to build the link part of the Croxley rail link. And when you actually look into the project budget, the actual link, the bridge that's going to be built and viaduct over Rickmansworth Road, sucks up at least 1/3 of the project budget. and arguably whether or not that makes the project viable is questionable. But other initiatives are working very closely with the MP, Richard Harrington, who's pledged his support to work with us to try and find ways of running a shuttle to keep the station open. He's lobbying the Transport Secretary in Parliament. We understand, according to her latest communications, that Watford's Mayor, Dorothy Thornhill, is also behind initiatives to keep the station open, although in fairness, she has also been behind motives to promote the link as well. So I'm not quite sure exactly where the Mayor stands on this. So working with Richard Harrington and trying to persuade London Underground to re-examine the evaluation of the project are the ways that I'm working with a small team behind me of people who are trying to keep this station open for local people.
So how can people join the campaign? How can they get in touch with you? How can they participate in your initiative?
Okay, well, the tag is Save Watford Met, no gaps, both with a tag, and also that's the Twitter handle. You can find us if you look up Save Watford Met. There's a blog site, and very importantly, there's a petition which can be signed. There's nearly 2,000 names on that petition, which has been handed in to the Transport Secretary. The petition is still live, so if you haven't signed the petition, please do, because we're sending updates into the Transport Ministry all the time, and find ways of getting behind the campaign. But more than anything, please spread the word. Let people know, because if you asked any of the people behind you, probably only about 40%, maybe even less than that, will know that this station is going to close. There are no signs anywhere in the station. There is no publicity from London Transport about the station's going to close, and I think that's a dreadful shame.
Okay, well, thanks ever so much for talking to us today, and everyone join the campaign.
Please do. Yeah, okay. Local station worth keeping open. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. Cheers. Well, there you have it, Diane. This is the station, and it's due to close in 2019. So thanks to Leicester for sharing that with us, and back to you in the studio.
Okay, thanks very much, Chris. And yeah, that's certainly very interesting. We'll put a link up on the YouTube channel after the show, linking to Leicester's campaign, as we put up all the other links that we tend to mention. Okay, as usual, we've got several Link for Growth events planned locally this week, starting with Link for Growth supporting the Yellow Comedy tonight at Reason Cafe and Bookshop. Doors open at 7:30. There are going to be 8 comedians there. Many of them are practicing material for Edinburgh Fringe. It's usually very good, and the entrance is free. And I can recommend the coffee. Okay, and talking of coffee, we've got a Link for Growth coffee in the market tomorrow between 10 and 11:30. Again, it's as usual, meeting upstairs at El's Kitchen, and it's a great opportunity to meet Chris and Alex and me sometimes to find out more about Link for Growth. On Monday, we've got, talking of trains as we were, and Moore Park. On Monday, we've got Link for Coffee in Cafe Loco, which is right next to Moore Park Station in Northwood. So it starts at 10:30 and it goes until 11:30. Their carrot cake, by the way, is to die for. I've had some elsewhere and it's absolutely fabulous. And then in the evening, we've got starting at 5 with Link for Coffee at Reason, but this time it's followed by poetry reading. Tell us a bit more, Neil.
Yeah, you'll have to come back to me in 1 second. I'm very sorry, got a customer.
Right, okay, well, whilst Neil is dealing with that, we'll talk about Tuesday, where we've got Link for Coffee at Regis Building in Rickmansworth, which is Regis Buildings on Park Road, and again, that's between 10 and 11:30. And on Thursday evening, we have a Link for Drinks in Bushy at the 3 Crowns, which is on the High Road. All of these events are free. You just turn up, you pay for whatever you consume, or at some places actually it's all totally free, like Regis give us free tea and coffee all the time, but at other places you have to buy whatever you eat or drink or whatever, but it's always a fun, good evening or day. Neil, can you talk a little bit more about your poetry?
Yeah, so actually the poetry is in the morning. Sorry, I don't know how we got those mixed up. So the poetry is at 11 o'clock in the morning. So if you're not up to Northwood, come in. Mike Jenkins, former winner of Wales Book of the Year, is in the shop, and he'll be reading from his book Shedding Paper Skin, and hopefully telling us what the title means. But yeah, we're taking questions too, so that will be really interesting. It's the first time we've had a poetry event in the shop, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then the 5:30 is the Link for Growth coffee evening, which is always good fun. Lots of interesting people, lots of interesting chat as usual. And if anyone wants to stay on directly afterwards, we've got a games night in the shop.
That's what I was thinking of. Okay. And of course, Tuesday we've got Transition Town.
Transition Town meeting, the date is changing on that. Check your emails. I believe it's been changed to August the 4th because of people's holiday commitments. Anyone who's signed up, they will get an email. If you haven't signed up, go on Transition Town on Facebook, and there's a form on there for you to sign up and find out how you can help make Watford a more sustainable town.
Great. And finally, Alex, you've got a restaurant review for us.
I've forgotten about that, to be fair. Yes, I do. We're going to review this week the Junction Cafe, where we had the Link for Breakfast event. Really good breakfast. I had kind of they do different things. They do set menus, they give you 6 items, different 6 items. There's egg, bacon, sausage, beans, mushrooms, all you can guess, and you can swap one item in and one item out. As you heard, Chris had a salad which looked really good, and they're really good. We met the guy that runs the place, Sergio. He came to one of the drinks evenings, got really keen to help us. He got a few posters in there, and yeah, really good food. We're there every third Sunday, but I recommend going every time. About £7 once you include a couple of coffees or tea, so it's really good value.
Good. So have you just tried it for the Link for Growth breakfast? Have you tried it any other time?
No, I've only been there for the breakfast, but from looking at the menu, they do kind of burgers, they do kind of main meals, Sunday lunches, stuff for the kids. So they've got lots of options there if you want to go any time of the day.
Okay, that's great. Okay, well, I think that's it for today's show. It's time to say cheerio to Gerri, and thank you very much for joining us, Gerri.
Thank you. Just unmuting.
Yeah, well, thanks very much for joining us, and good luck with Link for Growth up in Durham and North Yorkshire.
Thanks. I was going to say just Gerri will do, usually.
Okay. And Alex, thank you very much for joining us and taking part in today's show. And are you coming to the comedy this evening, or are you down the pub celebrating?
I'll be down the pub celebrating, then going to the comedy, then going back to the pub to celebrate.
Okay, sounds like a full evening planned by Alex. And Neal, I'll be seeing you shortly at the Yellow Comedy Night. You've muted yourself again. You've muted yourself.
Still at me, Neal.
I'm still not used to, after all this time, I'm still not used to this unmuting business. Yeah, thanks. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone tonight, and great show.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for everyone, and I'm sure Chris would also like to say cheerio to everyone. Thank you for watching. We'll have another show for you next week. And that's it for now. I will say cheerio. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.